Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Joshy P. Welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to be predicting the Eagles versus the Cowboys this weekend. Eagles are at the link, so we have some home field advantage. And baby, I am excited to go up against the boys at home. It's going to be lit. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, this game is huge for us, right? This is pretty much a must-win game. We cannot go down 0-2 and the Cowboys would be 2-0. We just can't do it. If we beat them, I'm pretty sure we get sole possession. Because the Giants lost to them. We would have beat them. So we're automatically ahead of them. We'd be 1-1. They'd be 1-1. Whatever the Giants do, maybe they go 0-2. Maybe they go 1-1. They lost to them regardless. And the Redskins, there's no way that they're going to win. But if they do win, then I think the Redskins would be tied with us, right? I forget who the Redskins played, but nobody in our division played them yet. So I don't really know. I'm hurting my head there. It's way too late, and I just woke up from a nap. So sorry about that. Sorry, by the way, about this being late. I meant to do it much earlier on in the day, but I fell asleep at like 6:30. So that's not cool. But I got to work tomorrow until 2, and then I'm gonna come back, watch the second half of the early games, and then we're gonna watch the Philadelphia Eagles take on the boys. So all right, finally, I've waited too long. Let's talk about this. Not going to lie, the Atlanta game was a little bit embarrassing, right? There was all this hype, as there is every year with the Eagles, pretty much, under the Chip Kelly era. It was like that in 2013. It was like that in 2014. And it was especially like that this year. Everybody was completely hype about the Philadelphia Eagles. And we shot the bed last week. Pretty much the deal. Julio Jones and Matt Ryan threw up and down the field. We couldn't generate a pass rush. Sam Bradford struggled to get going in the first half. Our running backs basically had like 8 yards apiece in terms of DeMarco and Ryan Matthews. Sproles was the only one that was able to really get anything going in the ground game. Jordan Matthews was really the only receiver that was able to do anything. And yeah, that's the offensive line was god-awful. So here's some things I'm looking for out of the Eagles, and I got a comment saying don't be so biased in the predictions and the recaps, but this is a Philadelphia Eagles channel, right? This is a Philadelphia Eagles channel, right? So I'm talking about the Eagles here, right? I'm not going to talk a lot about the other team. I'm not going to talk good about the other team. I'm going to talk good about the Eagles, and I'm going to talk bad about the Eagles too. I'm going to tell you what I don't like. Like, as I just did, I pointed out what was bad. And he was saying it's not that the Eagles, this is what this guy said. He said it's not that the Eagles were doing bad. He said, show what the Falcons were doing really well. And in my opinion, the only people that I thought did very well were Matty Ryan and Julio Jones. Their defense really didn't play extremely well. Both of Sam Bradford's interceptions really weren't his fault. On his first one, the ref was blocking the guy that picked off the ball. Sam Bradford didn't even see him. And he got leveled on the play, and then his last interception was a Jordan Matthews drop. So it wasn't necessarily his fault, and it wasn't necessarily the Falcons were playing well. The Eagles did bad. So, I mean, I'll tell you what your team did right, and I'll tell you what your team did bad, and the same vice versa goes for the Eagles. So, what do I want to see the Eagles do tomorrow? First things first, I'm the realist now. First thing first, they really have to get the run game going. We can't have negative 4 yards. I think it was almost until halftime. That's ridiculous, right? We can't have negative yardage. We need to have, like, at least, we need to get it going. 4 yards a carry, 3 yards a carry, I don't care. They need to be positive runs and not just all sweeps, right? The offense, and the key to that is the offensive line really needs to gel better, and they really need to get their jobs done. I'm not going to praise Jason Peters and Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson because they really all didn't play that well. If anyone was really solid, it was Lane Johnson. But Jason Kelsey had like 3 or 4 penalties or something like that. I mean, I think he was playing very well, and some of the calls were stupid. But even if they were stupid calls, you can't be having all these calls, right? Jason Peters, same thing, and he gave up some plays too. But especially the guards, Alan Barber and Andrew Gardner, were playing like shit. Basically, they were just playing like trash. And the key to a good line is good guard play, and they weren't playing well. And I think part of that is that it was really their first game all together, playing, starting, and they really need to, just tighten up. A good thing that came out of that game was that there was no injuries to the line, and I'm pretty sure no injuries in general. Jordan Matthews took a wallop, and he got back up. The only injury I thought there was Seiya Ejiro Tutu got a concussion, which sucks because, he was our biggest special teams acquisition this year. Special teams player of the year last year, 16 tackles or something like that, so that's going to be missing. That's huge. And that's pretty much it offensively. Sam Bradford, I think, needs to go deep a little bit more, too. There's a couple times Nelson Aguilar was pretty much open, and, he just didn't see him and didn't throw the ball to him, and he kept checking the ball down, which was great. It was working, but you need those big strikes because, I don't know, you just do. It's much more dynamic offense that way. But he really wasn't able to go long. He really wasn't able to run a play action because there really was no run game being generated. And I think that's it for the offense. Sam Bradford needs to go down the field a little bit more. Offensive line needs to play a whole lot better, and we need to generate a run game. Let's talk defense. Start with the defensive line. Now, Fletcher Cox is a fucking beast. I'm not going to lie. Dude is insane. He's just he's so athletic and he's so just good, fundamentally sound that, he's top 5 defensive end in the league. Then we're looking at Benny Logan, who is proving to be one of the best defensive tackles in the league. The dude just manhandles people. It's ridiculous, especially against the run. And I think that's one thing we did decently last week against the Falcons. There was plays that our guys would be five yards in the backfield, and then their backs would just cut it the other way, and we didn't have the the defense on the other side. It was like one side would get penetration, the other side wouldn't, and they just blow by for 6 yards. So I think the biggest thing with the defensive line is they need to generate a pass rush without a blitz, because when we blitzed, we started getting Matt Ryan's face, and that's what happened in the second half. Billy Davis started throwing some blitzes at him, but that was the only time we were able to generate a pass rush. We need to be able to do that without sending our linebackers so they can cover the tight ends or play zone over the middle or whatever, because Kiko, say QB Spy, is going to pick him off half of the time, pretty much, because Kiko, and that's another thing I want to see, D'Amico Ryans just simply can't play to the speed of Kiko Alonso and Michael Kendricks. Simply just can't. Maybe 75% of the speed, but Kiko and Michael Kendricks need to be on the field 75% of the time. Put maybe D'Amico in there on some run plays if you think they're going run, but Kiko needs to be in there for pass defense, so does Michael Kendricks. In terms of the secondary, Malcolm Jenkins, Walter Thurmond, very solid job. Ball hawks, the two of them, ball hawks. The only thing I can say about Malcolm Jenkins is he just needs to hold on to those goddamn balls. He dropped 2 interceptions that would have been game changers had he actually caught them. In terms of the corners, Nolan Carroll didn't do horrible, but Byron Maxwell, good lord. He's the 5th highest paid cornerback in the league, and he was playing like he shouldn't be the 32nd highest paid cornerback in the league, pretty much. And I understand it's Julio Jones, right? And in my opinion, Julio Jones is the best receiver in the NFL. After I watched that game, I believe the hype, right? He is much faster than Calvin, who I previously believed was the #1 receiver in the league, and Dez. And the dude's got the hand. He's just got everything. Julio Jones is the best receiver in the league, by far. But there's no excuse. You shouldn't be trailing like that. I mean, he looked plain slow. He looked flat out slow, which is ridiculous. And I think the reason of that is he's used to having safety help over the top in Seattle, and he just, he's a very good cover 3 corner, and that's not what he was playing on Sunday. So I put a lot of the blame on Billy Davis as well. Billy Davis really needs to step it up and call some better plays in this game. That's pretty much it. Cowboys don't have Des Bryant. They don't have Randy Gregory, I'm pretty sure. And they don't have Greg Hardy. So it's two key defensive players and their best offensive player. If we can stop the run, we can cover their number 2 receivers, and we can, I think we can win this football game. Overall, I think the Eagles are favored in this one, so I'm not, stupid for saying that we're going to win. And I was wrong. I thought it was going to be a blowout against Atlanta, and it clearly wasn't. So I'm going to go 34-21 in this one, Eagles at home. I think that's a very modest score. It could be higher, especially if this offense really starts to gel and we really see what it can actually be when it runs at full tempo and the defense can play like they should be playing. That's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Give me your predictions for this game. Let me know what you think the Eagles need to do to win this one. Or if you're a Cowboys fan, hey, speak out, man. I'm all cool about cross-examination and whatever you want to call it. Talking about each other's teams. I'm okay with that, right? I'm not a Cowboy fan either. I actually am. And if you piss me off, I am. But if you're just a cool Cowboys fan, fine. That's cool with me. That's cool. All right. That's all I got for you guys today. If you want to leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Check out the sponsors of this video in the description. My name is Josh. That's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.